In the small town of Blackwood, a chilling howl echoed through the night. The townspeople, gripped by fear, whispered tales of a fearsome werewolf prowling the woods, its hunger for blood insatiable. A group of curious teenagers ventured into the woods, drawn by the mystery of the werewolf. Unbeknownst to them, the woods were cursed, and the ancient spirits that dwelled within watched their every move. One of the teenagers, Alex, was bitten by the werewolf during their ill-fated expedition. As the full moon rose, Alex underwent a horrifying transformation, becoming a creature of the night. A renowned werewolf hunter, Elias Blackwood, arrived in town, sensing the presence of the supernatural. With his steely determination and vast knowledge, he vowed to rid the town of the werewolf menace. Elias delved into the town's history and uncovered dark secrets. He learned of an ancient pact made with a vengeful spirit, binding the town to the curse of the werewolf. The pact had to be broken to free the town from its relentless grip. On the night of the blood moon, the werewolf's power reached its peak. It went on a rampage, terrorizing the town and sowing chaos. Elias, armed with silver bullets and ancient incantations, prepared for the ultimate battle. Elias confronted the werewolf in a fierce battle under the eerie glow of the blood moon. The clash between man and beast echoed through the woods, shaking the very foundations of the cursed land. In a climactic moment, Elias managed to wound the werewolf, forcing it to retreat. As the creature fled, it reverted to its human form, revealing the shocking truth. It was someone from the town, someone they had known all along. The werewolf's true identity, Sarah, a beloved member of the community, stunned the townspeople. She confessed to the pact her ancestors had made, and her unwillingness to harm her friends had driven her to the edge of madness. Sarah revealed the origins of the curse, an ancient curse cast upon a vengeful sorcerer by a wronged lover. The curse had passed down through generations, binding the town and its people to the bloodthirsty werewolf. Elias, Sarah, and a group of courageous townspeople embarked on a quest to break the curse. Guided by Sarah's knowledge and Elias's expertise, they journeyed to the sorcerer's tomb, determined to find a way to lift the curse once and for all. In the depths of the tomb, the group discovered a relic, a silver amulet infused with ancient magic. It was the key to breaking the curse, but using it required a sacrifice. Sarah, burdened by guilt, volunteered, ready to pay any price for her family and town's redemption. The group conducted a ritual under the light of the full moon, channeling the power of the amulet. As Sarah recited the incantation, a blinding light enveloped her. The curse's grip on the town began to wane, and the werewolf's howls faded into the distance. With the curse lifted, Blackwood began to heal. Crops flourished, and laughter returned to the streets. The townspeople, once divided by fear, found solace in their shared triumph over the supernatural. Despite the town's renewal, haunting memories lingered. Sarah, now free from the curse, faced the judgmental stares of her fellow townspeople. The weight of her actions weighed heavily on her, and she retreated into solitude, haunted by the past. Over time, the townspeople realized the depth of Sarah's sacrifice. Compassion replaced judgment, and forgiveness bridged the gap between them. Sarah, once an outcast, found acceptance among her peers. Blackwood embraced an era of peace and prosperity. The town's unity became its strength, and the scars of the past began to fade. Sarah, now a respected member of the community, dedicated herself to protecting the town from any supernatural threat. With each passing day, the fear of the werewolf diminished. The townspeople moved forward, their lives no longer overshadowed by the supernatural. The legend of the werewolf became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of revenge and the importance of forgiveness. A mysterious visitor arrived in Blackwood, bringing news of a new threat. A pack of vengeful werewolves, seeking retribution for the curse's removal. The town, still recovering from its previous ordeal, faced an even greater challenge. Sarah, Elias, and a group of brave individuals formed an alliance to confront the vengeful werewolves. Together, they trained, honing their skills and knowledge to protect their town from the impending danger. On the night of the full moon, the vengeful werewolves attacked Blackwood, their hunger for revenge insatiable. The town's defenders fought valiantly, silver weapons glinting in the moonlight. The battle was fierce, the outcome uncertain. During the chaos of battle, a member of the alliance revealed their true allegiance. They had secretly conspired with the vengeful werewolves, seeking power and revenge against the town. Betrayal tore through the defenders' ranks, weakening their resistance. In a moment of selflessness, Sarah sacrificed herself to save the town. She faced the leader of the vengeful werewolves, a former ally turned enemy, and used the last of her strength to banish the werewolf, breaking the pack's unity. Blackwood mourned the loss of Sarah, their savior and protector. The town, though scared by grief, found solace in Sarah's sacrifice. Her legacy became a beacon of hope, inspiring the town to stand strong against any supernatural threat. Sarah's bravery became a legend, passed down through generations. Children listened wide-eyed as their parents recounted her story, instilling in them the importance of courage and unity. The town's newfound strength became its greatest defense. Years passed, and Blackwood prospered. However, an unseen threat loomed on the horizon. Dark forces, drawn by the town's supernatural history, began to stir, plotting to unleash a terror unlike any Blackwood had ever faced. Elias, long retired from hunting supernatural creatures, sensed the impending danger. He returned to Blackwood, his intuition guiding him back to the town he had once saved. With a heavy heart, he realized that his battle was far from over. A cryptic prophecy emerged, foretelling of a great darkness descending upon Blackwood. The townspeople, now seasoned by their past ordeals, deciphered the prophecy's riddles, preparing for the battle that awaited them. The ancient spirits that had cursed Blackwood centuries ago began to stir. Their hunger for chaos and revenge awakened, fueling the dark forces that threatened to engulf the town. The townspeople sensed the encroaching danger, their unity becoming their greatest strength once more. The dark forces conducted a midnight ritual, channeling the spirit's power to unleash a wave of supernatural creatures upon Blackwood. Creatures of nightmares roamed the streets, their presence striking fear into the hearts of the townspeople. Elias, the townspeople, and a new generation of defenders made a desperate stand against the supernatural onslaught. The battle was fierce, shadows clashing against the light. Elias's knowledge and experience became invaluable, guiding the defenders in their fight for survival. In the midst of battle, long-buried secrets resurfaced. The dark forces were led by a descendant of the vengeful sorcerer who had cursed Blackwood. The town's past sins had come back to haunt them, and redemption seemed impossible in the face of such overwhelming darkness. The townspeople, undeterred by their dark past, united once more. They embraced the truth of their history, acknowledging their mistakes and vowing to protect their town at any cost. The power of their unity became a beacon of hope, pushing back the encroaching darkness. In a moment of profound redemption, the descendant of the vengeful sorcerer sacrificed themselves to break the curse that fueled the dark forces. Their act of selflessness weakened the supernatural creatures, turning the tide of the battle in favor of the defenders. Elias and the defenders faced the leader of the dark forces in a final epic battle. The town square became a battleground, illuminated by the flickering light of street lamps. Every strike, every incantation, echoed with the town's determination to survive. With a collective effort, the defenders banished the leader of the dark forces, breaking the spirit's hold on Blackwood. The supernatural creatures dissipated into the night, their roars fading into echoes. The town was free, but the cost of their victory weighed heavily on their hearts. Blackwood mourned the fallen heroes who had given their lives to protect the town. The sacrifices made by the defenders became a solemn reminder of the price of freedom. The townspeople gathered to honor their bravery, their tears mingling with the rain that fell from the somber sky. In the aftermath of the battle, Blackwood began to rebuild. The scars left by the supernatural onslaught served as a testament to the town's resilience. The townspeople, though grieving, worked together to restore their home, their unity stronger than ever before. Elias, recognizing the town's vulnerability to supernatural threats, established a group of vigilant guardians. These defenders, trained in the arts of supernatural combat, stood as protectors, ensuring that Blackwood would never fall prey to darkness again. Generations passed, and the tale of Blackwood's bravery became a cherished legend. Parents told their children the story, instilling in them the importance of courage and unity. The town's legacy became a beacon of hope, inspiring others in their own battles against the supernatural. Years of peace followed, but an eerie silence settled over Blackwood. The town's guardians sensed a disturbance in the supernatural realm, a subtle shift that hinted at an impending danger. The townspeople, though unaware of the threat, felt a growing sense of unease. Ancient artifacts, imbued with dark magic, began to surface in Blackwood. Unbeknownst to the townspeople, these artifacts were keys to a malevolent force's resurrection. The guardians, guided by their intuition, embarked on a mission to uncover the artifacts' secrets. The malevolent force, a vengeful spirit seeking revenge, orchestrated an unholy ritual using the artifacts. The ritual's dark energy permeated the town, twisting reality and unleashing supernatural horrors upon Blackwood. The guardians, realizing the gravity of the situation, made the ultimate sacrifice. They infused their spirits into powerful talismans, each imbued with a unique ability to combat the supernatural. Their sacrifice granted the townspeople a fighting chance against the malevolent force. Blackwood became a battlefield once more. The malevolent force, now possessing a physical form, clashed with the townspeople and the guardian spirits. The battle of wills tested the strength of their resolve and the power of the talismans. In the midst of battle, a trapped spirit, bound to the malevolent force, found redemption. Through a selfless act, the spirit broke free from its torment, weakening the malevolent force's hold. Its newfound freedom became a source of strength for the townspeople. With the malevolent force weakened, the townspeople launched a final assault. The talismans, guided by the spirits of the guardians, resonated with a blinding light, overwhelming the malevolent force. In a deafening roar, the force was banished, leaving Blackwood in peace once more. Blackwood commemorated the guardians' sacrifice, honoring their bravery and unwavering dedication. A memorial, adorned with the guardians' names, stood as a reminder of their valor. The townspeople gathered to pay their respects, their gratitude boundless. The spirits of the guardians, freed from their talismans, chose to remain as eternal protectors of Blackwood. Their presence became a comforting watch over the town, ensuring that any future threats would be met with swift and decisive action. And so, Blackwood thrived under the watchful eyes of the eternal guardians. The town, though scared by its supernatural battles, emerged stronger and more united. The legacy of courage, sacrifice, and unity lived on, inspiring generations to come, and ensuring that the town would always stand resilient against the forces of darkness. In the quiet town of Ravenswood, a family moved into an old, decrepit mansion on the outskirts of town. Unbeknownst to them, the house had a dark history, whispered about by the locals. As they settled in, strange occurrences began to plague the family, setting the stage for the horror that was about to unfold. At night, shadows moved through the halls of the mansion, their forms unnatural and menacing. The family dismissed these sightings as mere imagination, but the shadows grew bolder, creeping into their rooms and leaving an overwhelming sense of dread in their wake. Whispers echoed through the empty corridors, their words indecipherable yet filled with malice. Family members woke in the dead of the night, convinced they heard their names being called in a ghostly voice. The once cozy home now felt suffocating, its walls seemingly closing in on them. Apparitions appeared, flickering into view and then vanishing with an eerie glow. The family caught glimpses of specters in old-fashioned clothing, their eyes empty voids of despair. The children, initially curious, grew terrified of their own home, avoiding certain rooms where the apparitions seemed to linger. A bone-chilling cold permeated the house, regardless of the season. No amount of heating could dispel the icy tendrils that wrapped around anyone who dared to venture into certain areas. Even in the midst of summer, the rooms held a frigid atmosphere, making it impossible to find comfort within the mansion's walls. Objects began to move on their own accord. Plates flew off shelves, chairs toppled over without warning, and books slammed shut as if guided by an unseen force. The family tried to rationalize these events, blaming faulty wiring and drafty windows, but deep down, they knew something far more sinister was at play. Family members started having disturbing dreams, all featuring a gaunt figure cloaked in darkness. The figure whispered promises of eternal suffering and despair, its hollow eyes filled with an otherworldly hunger. Each night, the dreams became more vivid, seeping into waking hours, blurring the line between nightmare and reality. Symbols etched in blood-red paint appeared on the walls, cryptic and foreboding. The family discovered occult markings hidden beneath layers of wallpaper, symbols of a dark ritual that had once taken place within those very walls. As they tried to erase the markings, they found them reappearing overnight, as if the house itself resisted their attempts to cleanse it. The whispers grew louder, taking on a demonic tone that sent shivers down the family's spines. The words spoke of ancient curses and vengeful spirits, promising eternal torment to anyone who dared to inhabit the house. Desperation settled in as the family realized they were not dealing with a mere haunting but something far more malevolent. Fearing for their safety, the family called in paranormal investigators, hoping for answers and a way to rid themselves of the malevolent presence. The investigators, armed with an array of ghost-hunting gadgets, ventured into the house, their skepticism slowly replaced by terror as they witnessed objects moving without explanation and heard voices from the ethereal realm. Through extensive research, the investigators unveiled the dark past of the house. It was revealed that a cult had once occupied the mansion, performing unspeakable rituals in a bid to open a gateway to the underworld. The leader of the cult, a man obsessed with dark arts, had vanished mysteriously, leaving behind a curse that lingered within the very foundation of the house. In an attempt to communicate with the spirits, the investigators conducted a séance. They lit candles and joined hands, calling out to the other side. At first, there was silence, but then the room grew icy cold, and a spectral figure materialized in their midst. The figure, the long-lost cult leader, snarled in rage, blaming the living for disturbing his eternal rest. During the séance, one of the investigators was possessed by the vengeful spirit of the cult leader. His eyes turned a deep shade of red, and his voice became a guttural growl. The possessed investigator spoke in ancient tongues, uttering curses and prophecies of doom. The others struggled to break the possession, their efforts met with violent resistance from the malevolent entity. With the possessed investigator growing stronger, the team sought the help of a seasoned exorcist. Armed with holy relics and ancient prayers, the exorcist delved into the heart of the haunting. The entity resisted fiercely, hurling furniture and shrouding the room in darkness. The exorcism became a battle of wills. The forces of light pitted against the darkness of the underworld. In a burst of blinding light, the exorcist finally managed to banish the vengeful spirit from the possessed investigator. The room fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting for the first time in months. The investigators and the family members, exhausted and emotionally drained, realized that the battle was far from over, but they had gained a momentary respite. The investigators discovered a cursed relic hidden within the house, a sacrilegious artifact used by the cult in their rituals. The relic pulsed with unholy energy, its presence corrupting the very air around it. Realizing that destroying the relic was the key to breaking the curse, the investigators embarked on a perilous journey to find a way to neutralize its malevolent power. Guided by ancient texts, the investigators devised a forbidden ritual to neutralize the cursed relic. The ritual required a delicate balance of light and darkness, drawing upon the power of both to counteract the artifact's evil aura. As they chanted the incantations and performed the ritual, the house shook with fury, its very foundation rebelling against the attempt to cleanse its tainted soul. In a blinding explosion of light, the relic shattered into 1,000 pieces. The malevolent energy dissipated, leaving the investigators and the family members gasping for breath. It seemed for a moment that the curse had been broken, that the house had other plans. It retaliated with a final, desperate onslaught of paranormal activity, as if angered by the loss of its corrupted heart. Doors slammed shut, trapping the investigators and the family members in different parts of the mansion. Furniture levitated, swirling in a chaotic dance of poltergeist activity. The walls groaned, and the very ground trembled beneath their feet. It was as if the house itself had come alive, its wrath unleashed in a torrent of supernatural fury. In a moment of selflessness, one of the family members, possessed by a newfound determination, sacrificed themselves to appease the house's wrath. With a final prayer, they faced the full brunt of the supernatural onslaught, shielding the others from the house's fury. Their sacrifice created a brief opening, allowing the investigators to perform a final, desperate ritual to cleanse the house once and for all. Gathering all their strength, the investigators chanted the incantations of the final ritual. The words resonated with ancient power, echoing through the mansion's halls. The house fought back, its malevolent energy surging against the ritual's cleansing force. The very air crackled with tension as the battle between light and darkness reached its climax. In a blinding burst of pure light, the ritual reached its peak. The house shrieked, its walls trembling as if in agony. The malevolent presence, bound to the cursed relic for centuries, was torn apart, banished to the darkest corners of the spiritual realm. The mansion, once a bastion of evil, stood cleansed and free from the supernatural taint that had plagued it for generations. With the curse lifted, the mansion became still. The once haunted halls were silent, and the atmosphere, once heavy with malevolence, lightened. The family members and investigators, although scared by their ordeal, felt a profound sense of relief. Ravenswood, no longer overshadowed by the mansion's dark past, embraced a newfound peace. The tale of the haunted house became a cautionary legend, a story parents whispered to their children to teach them the importance of bravery in the face of fear. The family members and investigators, although forever changed by their experience, found solace in the knowledge that they had confronted and overcome true evil. Their story served as a beacon of hope for others facing supernatural threats, reminding them that even the darkest nightmares could be vanquished with courage and determination. In the years that followed, the investigators compiled their experiences into a series of paranormal chronicles. Their books became bestsellers, detailing the horrors they had faced and the rituals they had performed to combat malevolent entities. Their expertise garnered worldwide recognition, and they became sought-after experts in the field of paranormal research, helping others battle supernatural forces and find solace in the face of the unknown. Despite the cleansing of the mansion, potential homebuyers approached the property with caution. Its dark history still lingered in the town's memory, dissuading all but the most daring from considering it as a residence. The mansion, once a symbol of opulence, stood empty, its halls echoing with the whispers of the past. Occasionally, late at night, passers-by claimed to hear faint whispers coming from the mansion's windows. Some believed it to be the wind playing tricks on their ears, while others insisted that it was the lost souls of the past occupants, trapped between realms. Regardless of the truth, the mansion's reputation as a haunted house endured, its legend woven into the fabric of Ravenswood's history. One of the investigators, haunted by the memories of the haunted house, carried a deep sense of regret. They questioned whether they had done enough, whether there was more they could have done to help the family and the tortured spirits within the mansion. The investigators' nights were plagued by nightmares, each one a reminder of the horrors they had witnessed. Years later, a member of the family who had once lived in the haunted house returned to Ravenswood. They claimed to have heard a distressing call in their dreams, a plea for help from the spirits they had left behind. Determined to set things right, they ventured into the mansion, armed with knowledge passed down through generations and a heart full of courage. Inside the mansion, the family member encountered residual hauntings, echoes of the past imprinted on the very fabric of the building. They witnessed scenes from the house's dark history, feeling the pain and despair of the spirits trapped within the residual energy. Undeterred, they continued deeper into the mansion, guided by an otherworldly force. In the mansion's heart, the family member encountered the restless spirits of the cult members who had once occupied the house. These spirits, tormented by their past actions, revealed the truth behind the cult's rituals and the malevolent entity they had sought to unleash. The family member listened, their heart heavy with empathy for the lost souls. Driven by compassion, the family member performed a ritual of redemption, guiding the spirits toward peace and forgiveness. The ritual was a beacon of light within the darkness, breaking the cycle of torment that had bound the spirits to the mansion. One by one, the spirits found solace and moved on, their anguished cries fading into whispers of gratitude. With the redemption of the spirits, the mansion seemed to sigh in relief. Its walls, once heavy with the weight of sorrow, now radiated a sense of tranquility. The family member, their purpose fulfilled, left the mansion with a newfound sense of closure. The haunted house, once a place of fear, had finally found rest, its troubled spirits released from their eternal torment. In the attic of the mansion, hidden beneath a pile of dusty old books, the family member discovered a diary belonging to the cult leader. The diary contained detailed accounts of the rituals performed within the mansion, as well as the cult leader's descent into madness. It shed light on the origins of the malevolent entity and the desperation that had driven the cult to unleash such darkness upon the world. As the family member delved deeper into the diary's pages, they unearthed a final revelation, a prophecy foretelling the return of the malevolent entity. The prophecy spoke of a celestial alignment, a convergence of cosmic forces that would grant the entity unparalleled power. The family member realized that the battle was far from over, and the haunted house's darkest secret was yet to be revealed. The celestial alignment, described in the diary, drew near. The night sky was painted with hues of crimson and indigo, signaling the imminent convergence of cosmic forces. The town of Ravenswood, unaware of the impending danger, went about its daily routine, oblivious to the supernatural threat that loomed over their very existence. As the celestial convergence reached its peak, the malevolent entity returned, its form more terrifying than ever. It materialized within the mansion, its presence suffocating and its eyes gleaming with ancient hatred. The entity's return sent shockwaves through the town, as if a dark cloud had settled over Ravenswood, casting a shadow upon the once peaceful community. The family member, now aware of the entity's return, tried to warn the townsfolk. They spoke of the haunted house's dark history, of the rituals and prophecies that foretold the entity's return. Some listened in fear, while others dismissed the warnings as mere superstition. The family member, undeterred by skepticism, gathered a group of brave souls willing to face the supernatural threat head-on. The brave group ventured into the mansion, armed with ancient relics and knowledge passed down through generations. They knew that the entity had to be stopped before its malevolence spread beyond the mansion's walls. The battle that ensued was fierce, the entity's power clashing against the combined strength of the group. The very foundation of the mansion trembled as the supernatural forces clashed in a struggle for dominance. In the midst of the battle, the family member uncovered a ritual of containment within the cult leader's diary. The ritual, if performed correctly, could trap the entity within a prison of eternal darkness. With the group holding back the entity's relentless assault, the family member began the ritual, chanting ancient incantations and drawing intricate symbols in the air. As the ritual reached its climax, the entity lashed out in fury, its power intensifying in a final attempt to break free. One of the brave souls, recognizing the imminent danger, made the ultimate sacrifice. With a heroic act of selflessness, they shielded the family member, allowing them to complete the ritual just in time. In a blinding flash of light, the ritual took effect. The mansion shook violently as the entity was pulled into a vortex of darkness, its roars of rage fading into distant echoes. The mansion itself seemed to exhale, its malevolent aura dissipating into the night. The brave group emerged from the battle scared but victorious, their bravery saving not only themselves but the entire town of Ravenswood. With the entity imprisoned, the family member and the brave group performed a sealing ritual on the mansion. Ancient symbols glowed on the walls, forming an impenetrable barrier that would prevent any supernatural entity from ever entering or leaving the haunted house. Ravenswood, once plagued by the mansion's curse, was finally free from its dark influence. In the aftermath of the battle, Ravenswood flourished. The town's prosperity returned, and its residents lived without the fear that had once gripped their hearts. The haunted house, now a symbol of triumph over evil, stood as a testament to the town's resilience. The family member and the brave group were hailed as heroes, their story inspiring generations to come. Although the entity was imprisoned and the haunted house sealed, echoes of the past lingered. Occasionally, on stormy nights, faint whispers could be heard, carried on the wind. Some claimed to see glimpses of shadowy figures in the mansion's windows, but these occurrences were rare and fleeting. Ravenswood, while no longer haunted, bore the scars of its dark history, a reminder of the bravery it took to banish the malevolent entity and restore peace to the once troubled town. The attic loomed above the old Victorian house like a forgotten realm, its entrance concealed behind a dusty door at the end of a narrow corridor. As Emily, a curious young woman with a penchant for exploration, turned the creaking doorknob, she felt a chill run down her spine. The attic, untouched for years, held secrets that whispered through the cobweb-laden air. Upon stepping into the attic, Emily discovered an antique trove of forgotten treasures. Dusty furniture draped in white sheets stood like silent sentinels, and old trunks with rusting clasps hinted at a time long past. Among the relics, she found faded photographs, moth-eaten clothing, and yellowed letters that chronicled the lives of those who once inhabited the house. As Emily sifted through the relics, she began to hear whispers, faint echoes of conversations and laughter that seemed to reverberate through the attic's time-worn walls. The whispers spoke of joy, sorrow, and secrets buried in the shadows. Emily, entranced by the spectral symphony of the past, felt an invisible presence that watched her every move. In the dim light, Emily caught a glimpse of a ghostly apparition, a silhouette that flickered at the edge of her vision. The apparition, clad in garments from a bygone era, seemed to beckon her deeper into the attic's mysteries. Emily hesitated, her heart pounding, as she grappled with the realization that the attic held more than just forgotten belongings. It harbored a spectral presence yearning to unveil its untold story. Emily, undeterred by the apparition, delved further into the attic's depths. Haunting artifacts adorned the space, a cracked porcelain doll with vacant eyes, a weathered music box that played a melancholic tune, and a frayed wedding dress that seemed to retain the echoes of long-lost vows. Each artifact whispered tales of the past, creating an atmosphere that transcended the boundaries between the living and the spectral. As Emily explored, the attic's atmosphere shifted. The whispers of the past transformed into an unsettling, malevolent aura. The air thickened with a palpable tension, and the ghostly apparition, once an elusive specter, manifested with an intensity that sent shivers down Emily's spine. The attic, once a haven of forgotten memories, now seemed to harbor a darker, more ominous presence. Within an ancient trunk, Emily discovered a weathered diary that chronicled the descent into despair of a former inhabitant. The diary spoke of unfulfilled dreams, tragic losses, and a descent into madness that culminated in a desperate act. As she read the haunting entries, Emily felt an oppressive weight settle on her shoulders, as if the tormented spirit sought to transfer its anguish onto her. Haunted by the diary's revelations, Emily began to experience unearthly visions. Shadows danced on the attic walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mirror the tormented soul documented in the diary. Emily's surroundings blurred between the past and the present, and the attic itself became a portal to the ghostly realms that lay beyond the confines of reality. A sudden chill swept through the attic, extinguishing the feeble light that illuminated Emily's path. The ghostly apparition materialized before her, its eyes reflecting a profound sadness. Emily, caught in the spectral embrace, felt the presence of the tormented soul merge with her own. The attic, now a nexus of anguish and despair, resonated with the harrowing cries of the ghostly inhabitant. As the malevolent aura intensified, the boundaries between the living and the spectral blurred. Emily, now a vessel for the tormented spirit's anguish, inadvertently unleashed a malevolent entity that thrived on the despair within the attic. Shadows coalesced into a tangible force, and the air crackled with an otherworldly energy as the malevolent entity sought to consume the intruder who had unearthed its tragic tale. The malevolent entity, now unleashed, enveloped Emily in a suffocating darkness. The attic, once a repository of forgotten memories, transformed into a nightmarish realm where the spectral and the corporeal collided. Emily, trapped within the malevolent embrace, felt tendrils of despair seep into her very soul as the entity sought to merge with her essence. As Emily descended further into the abyss of the malevolent entity's influence, echoes of torment reverberated through the attic. Whispers of sorrow, anguished cries, and the desperate pleas of the tormented spirit filled the air. Emily, unable to distinguish between reality and the spectral hallucinations, struggled to break free from the suffocating grip of the malevolent force. In the midst of the malevolent entity's onslaught, Emily experienced haunting memories that were not her own. Visions of the tormented soul's tragic past played out before her eyes, a life marred by loss, betrayal, and the relentless descent into madness. The attic itself seemed to pulse with the residual pain of the spirit, forcing Emily to relive the haunting memories that had long been confined within its time-worn walls. A spectral convergence unfolded as Emily's consciousness merged with that of the tormented spirit. Their identities intertwined, and the boundaries between the living and the spectral blurred into an indistinct haze. Emily, now a reluctant vessel for the tormented soul, grappled with the dual existence that bound her to the malevolent entity's insatiable hunger for despair. Within the spectral amalgamation, Emily heard a desperate plea, the anguished cry of the tormented soul yearning for release. The attic, a crucible of suffering, echoed with the tormented spirit's entreaty to break free from the malevolent entity's clutches. Emily, determined to sever the spectral bond, embarked on a perilous journey through the nightmarish recesses of the attic. As Emily navigated the surreal landscape of the spectral convergence, she encountered ethereal manifestations of the tormented spirit's despair. Shadowy figures, each representing a fragment of the spirit's anguish, manifested in spectral forms that contorted and writhed in agony. A battle between light and darkness unfolded as Emily sought to confront the malevolent entity that fed on the tormented soul's suffering. In the ethereal battle, Emily discovered a luminous resistance, a core of resilience within the tormented spirit that resisted the malevolent entity's devouring influence. Guided by this inner strength, Emily channeled her own determination to break free from the suffocating darkness. The attic, a battleground between despair and hope, witnessed a luminous uprising as Emily confronted the malevolent entity with newfound resolve. As Emily's luminous resistance clashed against the malevolent entity, the spectral realm fractured into shards of shattered malevolence. The tormented spirit, liberated from the suffocating grip, embraced the luminosity that Emily had kindled within the attic's haunted confines. The air, once thick with despair, now reverberated with echoes of a triumphant release as the malevolent entity dissipated into the spectral void. With the malevolent entity vanquished, the attic underwent a profound transformation. The oppressive darkness lifted, revealing a renewed light that permeated the once tormented space. Emily, still entwined with the tormented spirit's essence, witnessed the attic's metamorphosis into a sanctuary where the spectral and the living coexisted in delicate harmony. As the luminous light bathed the attic, Emily felt the tormented spirit's presence gradually fade. In its place, a sense of peace and closure settled within the time-worn walls. Whispers of farewell echoed through the attic, carrying with them a profound gratitude for the release from centuries of torment. The spectral convergence concluded, leaving Emily standing amidst the relics of the past, now bathed in the soothing embrace of tranquility. Despite the newfound tranquility within the attic, lingering shadows clung to Emily's consciousness. The spectral convergence had left an indelible mark, and she couldn't shake the feeling that the tormented spirit's essence still echoed within her own. As she descended the creaky stairs, the attic's door closed behind her with a soft thud, sealing the spectral memories within its confines. The rest of the house seemed to breathe a sigh of ephemeral respite as Emily left the attic behind. The shadows that had danced on the walls during her spectral battle were now replaced by the gentle glow of sunlight streaming through the windows. Emily wandered through the house, contemplating the ethereal journey she had embarked upon within the confines of the once haunted attic. As Emily explored the house, she couldn't escape haunting whispers that followed her every step. The residual echoes of the spectral battle reverberated through the corridors, as if the very walls retained memories of the attic's ethereal turmoil. The house, once a backdrop to the secrets of the attic, now harbored an otherworldly undercurrent that Emily couldn't ignore. In the midst of the haunting whispers, Emily discovered a cryptic message etched onto the attic door. The words, written in an elegant script, seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy. The message hinted at the cyclical nature of the spectral realm, suggesting that the tranquility she had brought to the attic was but a temporary respite from the ethereal forces that lurked within. Determined to unravel the mysteries that persisted, Emily revisited the attic, the doors swinging open with an eerie creak. The ethereal glow that had replaced the shadows during her battle had dimmed, and the artifacts within the attic seemed to resonate with a sense of unfinished business. The cryptic message's prophecy echoed in her mind as she delved deeper into the spectral recesses. Within the attic's dim-lit expanse, shadows began to coalesce once more. The remnants of the malevolent entity, though banished, clawed at the fringes of Emily's perception. The luminous resistance she had ignited during the previous encounter flickered, as if the ethereal forces were testing the boundaries of her newfound strength. Emily realized that the attic was caught in an ethereal cycle, a perpetual dance between light and darkness. The cryptic message's warning materialized as the spectral forces sought to reassert their influence. The artifacts, once witnesses to the spectral battle, seemed to resonate with the ebb and flow of the ethereal currents that surged through the attic. In the midst of the resurgence of shadows, celestial guidance manifested. Luminous entities, benevolent and radiant, appeared within the attic. They spoke of a celestial covenant, a pact that could safeguard the fragile balance between the living and the spectral. The celestial beings urged Emily to embrace her role as a guardian, wielding the ethereal forces to bring enduring harmony to the haunted attic. Empowered by the celestial guidance, Emily renewed the celestial covenant within the attic. The artifacts, once dormant witnesses to the spectral turbulence, resonated with the luminous energy she channeled. The ethereal cycle, now under her celestial influence, shifted towards a harmonious equilibrium that transcended the perpetual struggle between light and darkness. As Emily embraced her role as a guardian, the attic underwent a radiant transformation. The artifacts, once conduits of despair, now emanated a soothing luminosity. The spectral echoes that had haunted the space were replaced by a celestial symphony, a harmonious convergence of ethereal forces that brought tranquility to the once tormented realm. As Emily's connection with the celestial forces deepened, she discovered an ethereal nexus, a transcendent space that linked the attic to celestial realms beyond mortal perception. The nexus, a conduit for luminous energies, allowed Emily to extend her influence beyond the confines of the haunted attic. Celestial beings guided her through the astral threads that connected the living and the spectral, weaving a tapestry of ethereal destiny. The astral threads, luminous and intertwining, revealed the interconnected destinies of souls touched by the celestial covenant. Emily, now a guardian of the radiant attic, became a beacon of light within the celestial tapestry. The ethereal currents pulsed through her, resonating with the spectral energies that permeated the haunted attic and beyond. Guided by the celestial beings, Emily embraced her role as a celestial guardian. The radiant attic, once a nexus of despair, became a sanctuary of celestial energies that rippled through the house and the surrounding environment. The spectral echoes, now harmonized by the celestial symphony, served as a testament to the enduring influence of light in the face of lingering shadows. The celestial whispers persisted as Emily ventured beyond the confines of the house. Celestial beings communicated through subtle vibrations, guiding her towards ethereal hotspots where the boundary between the living and the spectral was particularly thin. Emily, attuned to the celestial symphony, embarked on a journey to extend the celestial covenant's influence into the hidden corners touched by lingering shadows. In her quest to expand the celestial covenant, Emily encountered pockets of resistance, places where malevolent forces sought to resist the harmonizing influence of the celestial symphony. Ethereal battles unfolded as Emily confronted the malevolent entities, wielding the luminous energy bestowed upon her by the celestial beings. The celestial uprising echoed through the spectral realms, challenging the lingering shadows that clung to the boundaries of reality. As Emily triumphed over the malevolent entities, the celestial nexus expanded. The ethereal tapestry of interconnected destinies extended its luminous threads into every corner touched by the celestial covenant. The house, once haunted by the shadows of its attic, now stood as a celestial nexus, a beacon of light within the spectral landscape. Guided by the celestial beings, Emily sought to maintain the delicate balance between the living and the spectral. The celestial symphony, now woven into the fabric of reality, resonated through the house, the attic, and the ethereal realms beyond. Emily's guardianship extended beyond the physical as she became a custodian of the celestial balance that transcended the boundaries of mortal understanding. In the wake of the celestial triumph, a celestial legacy unfolded. The radiant attic, once a nexus of despair, became a symbol of the transformative power of celestial influence. The ethereal currents, now harmonized by Emily's guardianship, continued to weave a luminous tapestry that transcended the cyclical struggles between light and darkness. As Emily stood within the radiant attic, she felt a profound sense of celestial harmony. The house, once haunted by the echoes of torment, had become a sanctuary of luminous energies. The celestial beings, their influence extending beyond mortal perception, watched over the eternal vigil of the radiant attic, a testament to the enduring legacy of celestial guardianship.